This is All Access MMA.
My next guest is going to be fighting for Bellator this Friday. He's going to be taking on Brett Johns, the UFC vet. It's Danny Sabatello back here on the program. Danny, how's it going, man?
Going great so far, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on getting this opportunity to fight for Bellator and getting this fight against Brett Johns. I got to know, when did this all come together? How did you end up getting this fight?
Yeah, so for a while now, we kind of knew, me and my management team and my team over at ATT knew that Bellator was probably the route that I was going to go. And we thought that there was going to be something, whether someone drops out of Corona or an injury, of course, and I would get a good opportunity. So a few days ago, my manager, Jason House at Iridium Sports, called me, said, hey, you want to fight Brett Johns in 7 days? And I said, fuck yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome. And that's actually another thing I was going to ask you is, I don't think we've spoken since you signed with Iridium. How long have you been with them, and how did that all come together? You linking up with one of the best management groups in the game.
Yeah, I think I've been with them a little under a year. Very satisfied so far. Nothing but great things to say about them. The good thing about training at ATT is not just the training, but it's just picking people's minds and, getting the experience of some of the older fighters. So when I was looking for a management team, I was kind of asking around the gym, and someone in particular, Charles Rosa, who I'm pretty good friends with, is a part of Iridium Sports as well, and he recommended me to Jason. So me and Jason were in contact, we were talking, and then I really liked Jason and ended up signing with them.
So that just made me realize we haven't done an interview in over a year, because last time we did our interview, you weren't with them. So that's crazy, man. Well, congrats. Again, I think it's a good fit. And by the way, you mentioned Charles Rosa. Shout out to his brother. I know he got another win this past weekend, right? Lucas. Yeah. I don't know if you caught that on social media as well. So yeah, we talked about you getting this Brett Johns fight. Is it like a multi-fight deal, or is it like a one-fight deal, and then you got to sort of see if they'll re-sign you? What's sort of the status of your contract with Bellator?
Yeah, it's a 4-fight deal, and I think it's 18 months is when it expires, or they need to give me fights in. So it's perfect. It's what I wanted. And the short notice thing, it doesn't bother me one bit. The only thing is the weight issue. So it's like, make a weight on 6 days is never fun, but I'm a fucking gangster and I'll get it done.
Good for you, man. You mentioned, Bellator seemed like the best option. Were there no UFC offers? That's a little bit surprising to hear.
No, so after that Dana White's Contender Series, the dominant 30-24 scorecard that I did, he didn't sign me, and then we didn't really hear from them. So I was sick of waiting, I kind of felt disrespected by Dana White. It was probably one of the most dominant performances you can have on that show, and I didn't get the contract. So it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. We kind of stopped pushing for that, kind of pursuing that, but we also didn't get any offers. So we just took this Bellator offer, and we're running with it.
And it worked out well for a guy that I know trains at your gym, Austin Vanderford. Same thing, gets a win, doesn't get signed, and now he's one of the big stars there for Bellator. So that's awesome. Let's talk about Brett Johns, though. Really good fighter, man. 17-2 record, a fellow Titan FC, former champion as well too, which is kind of interesting. How do you feel like you match up against him here? Yeah,
he's a good fighter. I think he's a little bit overrated. I don't think he's that good. And specifically where his skill set is good, I'm just better. I am better everywhere. I'm better on the feet. I'm better on the clinch. I'm better on the ground. But he likes to take fights to the ground, and there's just no way he's going to take me down. My grappling's better. I see this as a somewhat easy fight. I think I'm just going to smash this fucking guy and get him out of there in the second round.
Love the confidence. That's great, man. How much do you look at activity as well? You're a guy that's been pretty active on the regional scene over the last couple of years. I know Brett, he's had some gaps in there, right? I don't know if there was injuries and some other stuff. How much do you feel like that will play a role in the fight?
Yeah, a lot. I think he's got a lot of fights, but I think I have more experience just because I've been in the octagon so much. I'm 10-1, 11 fights, and I kind of just started being a pro like 3 years ago-ish. So, the way I see it is I love this sport. I love to fucking fight, so there's no reason why I shouldn't be fighting. If I'm healthy, I'm going to fight. That's it. I don't know why these fighters take so much time off. I really don't get it. I don't think they actually love it. There's only a few of us that actually love to get in there and fight. And those are the guys that are active in the sport.
Training camp, obviously great team and American Top Team. We'd probably be here all day if we listed all your training partners, but are there some training partners you're working with a little bit more than others ahead of this fight?
Yeah, usually on a daily basis, I'll work with Marlon Moraes, Pedro Munoz, Kyoji Horiguchi, Edson Barbosa. And also the good thing with working with Pedro was he also fought Brett Johns a couple of years ago,
That's
I believe.
Right. Didn't even think of that, yeah.
I didn't really pick his mind too much just because this was such short notice. I did text him. We've been texting a little bit. I just wanted to see if there's any little details that he could offer that he felt in the fight. And there really wasn't too much there. He just pretty much said, listen, you're better than him everywhere, and you're going to fucking kill this guy.
That's awesome. By the way, I don't think I'd ever hear Pedro swearing. He's usually a pretty polite guy, but that's I believe that he would say that. That must give you a lot of confidence if he's swearing and feels like you're going to win, which is really good as well. What would you think of Barbosa's win last weekend against Shane Burgos? What a performance that was.
That was insane. Barbosa is one of the best strikers in the UFC. I think he's going to go on a run here in that featherweight division, and I would not be surprised if that guy gets a belt.
There you go. Well, I'll mention that when I interview him later today. I'm supposed to be talking to him in a little bit. The weight cut, we just talked about it there. Weight's good now. I know you'll make the weight, but how's everything going ahead of the cut on Friday?
Yeah, 6 days notice on a weight cut is never easy. Of course, I'll get it done, but it especially sucks because when I first got here, I had to quarantine in the room for 24 hours. So on Monday, I already lost a day of kind of getting my weight down to where I wanted to be because all I could really do is put on plastics and jump rope, shadow box in the room. You know, you can only do so much when you're in quarantine. So the weight sucks. It's a bitch, but I mean, I'm going to get it done, and it's going to suck either way. So it's really irrelevant. I just got to push through it and make the weight, and then fight time, baby.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
It's going to be Steve Bruno, Mike Brown, and probably King Mo. So
nice. Oh, King Mo's the best, is he not? Probably picking up a lot of trash talk from King Mo, too.
He's the man. He's also such a nice guy, too.
Yeah.
You see he's like a gangster inside the cage, but outside the cage, he's really a nice dude.
How's this fight playing out on Friday?
I think first round, he's going to try to maybe keep it standing just because he knows my wrestling and grappling is going to be better. He'll realize not to keep it standing, try to take me down. I'll stuff a shot, and then he'll get a little bit wild. And I don't want to be drawn into a wild fight because when you're better than the opponent, you don't want to take too many risks. You know, you don't want to open yourself up to maybe get caught. So I think I'll take him down in the second and then just start beating the shit out of his face, and it'll be a TKO.
I like it. This is a big name that Bellator signed from the UFC. I know Brett could have maybe re-signed, but he chose to go to Bellator as well. A win here, I got to imagine that's going to situate you quite well as their bantamweight division in Bellator is kind of getting stacked right now. If you look at all the names, if you look at those rankings, every one of those fighters is pretty solid. So do you feel like you'd be sort of in that conversation for some of the bigger fights with a win here, especially a finish?
Yeah, I definitely should because, you know, like what you said, Brett Johns is such a big name. You know, he's got a lot of accolades. So it's weird because he's not technically on the Bellator rankings, but that's just because, you know, he hasn't fought for Bellator. So I don't exactly know where he would stack up. But, yeah, after this fight, I'll for sure be asking for a high-ranked opponent. I don't really know who I'm going to call out yet. I probably will. That's just my style. But, yeah, we'll go from there. But, again, you know, I beat Brett Johns on Friday night, and you know, it's sky's the limit from there because it should be another huge fight, the next one.
Other than trying to lose weight during the quarantine, what else are you up to? Are you loading up the Netflix? Did you bring a video game system? What are you doing to kind of pass time? And doing interviews. I saw you did an interview with my buddy Mike Heck, which is great. So that's good. You keep him busy, right?
No, not really. I mean, a little bit. Interviews a little bit, but you can only do so much in quarantine. I've just been watching TV, relaxing, trying to like walk around and trying to, you know, play mind games with myself. But, you know, it sucks. It's what you got to do for now. Hopefully this passes soon, but, you know, we'll see. It is what it is.
You need to get a video game system. You got to get like a Switch or something. Call Jason. He's got to send something to your room or something. So you got something
no,
to do,
I
right?
know, but I don't want to get obsessed with that stuff. I'm not a huge video game guy because I know if I start it, then I'm never going to stop. I'm going to want to keep beating every level and all that.
I understand. You got to get one of those games where you don't have to invest too much time in it. Go like old school. Get some of the old school games. Play like the old Mario Brothers. Then you're not going to get too invested in that, right? So,
yeah, it's a good idea.
What are you watching on TV right now? Anything interesting?
So it's funny. I was before this fight watching Peaky Blinders, but Brett Johns is from the UK, so I stopped watching that because those
You're
guys
like watching. It's like this is pissing me off. I'm fighting a Welshman, right? Yes.
That's what it is. I can't get into it. I can't like their characters. I got to think, war now, So I stopped watching that, and I'm just kind of like browsing right now.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, this is going to be must-see TV on Friday, Bellator 259. Danny, thanks so much for the time, especially during fight week. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media? I'll give you the last word.
Nope, just shout out to me and let's get this shit done on Friday.